What's going on, everybody? We are back. The On the Dot PGA stream coming at you guys here from a 2-week layoff, as always, with my man at Teaser Nation. How are we feeling this evening?
Good, man. I'm happy for you for FINAU last week. I know we talked about it before. Like I was going to be on them, but the 8-1, kind of pushed me away. But sometimes you just gotta go for it because it was pretty simple. We both said it like it was going to be him versus Rom. I mean, in that type of field, like those guys can't really keep up with them if they play their best. That's where you kind of can see like the discrepancy between like talent on the PGA Tour. Like that was a perfect example where the guys just can't hang when Rom and FINAU are on their game. But I'm happy for you, but I'm glad I still hit the tourney matchup. I got like plus 170, so that was good value. Hit a couple top 20s, 650 and 3-1, so those were good hits. I think came out 5 units.
Can't complain with that.
Overall good week, not as good as yours, but we'll take it.
Oh man, yeah, it's been we're on a hot streak for the show.
Yeah.
If this is your first time tuning in, we have hit 4 of our last 5 outrights. The only one that has not hit is the duo competition, which I didn't even truly bet. I was I told Teaser I'm taking that week off, and last week we were scheduled to do the show, and Teaser was like, "Hey man, I can't even talk right now." He came down with some sickness, so I was like, "All right, we'll just send out the picks." And once again, we hit another outright, and so it's been Connors, Rom, Fitzpatrick, and FINAU. So those are the 4.
Most of you, man, you're on the heater. I only got that one in there.
It's wild. It's wild. And my one and done, I'm 4 or 5 because I had Rom, and it was just absolutely insane. I'm up by like 40 points on the rest of the field. The guy who runs it is like, this is the fastest that anybody's ever got to 200 points. Yada yada yada. I was like, this is just crazy. So we look to go after another outright. Most importantly, we're going to give you guys some placements, some top 40s, top 20s, end the show with our outrights, and then sprinkle in some DFS talk for those who enjoy playing PGA DFS. That goes to the whole weekend long. I don't get into too much showdown. I probably need to. It's just so dicey from day to day, and covering it for 4 straight days in depth like that with my schedule sometimes just does not bode well. I really like to hone in on Wednesday nights, get after it, and see how the dice rolls for me for that week. All right. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys are tuning in on Twitter, make sure you guys simply hit that retweet button. It means a lot to us. Keep the show moving each and every week. Tell your friends about us. We have to have the hottest golf show that nobody knows about. We literally have to have the most units won this season that nobody talks about whatsoever. So shout out to Teaser, and shout out to anybody else out there who has been riding with us all season long. Let us know if you've been cashing with us. So let's kick it off to you, Teaser. Let's go over the course, which is a very, very difficult course. Another elevated event here at Wells Fargo. Let's get after it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so it's called Quail Hollow. They used it for the President's Cup last year. It's a really long course, 7,500 yards, I think, par 71. Really narrow fairways, Pinot rough, fast greens. So like you said, it's going to be difficult conditions. Really I'll just give like a summary of the guy I'm looking for, basically the golfer. Is we're just looking for guys who are long off the tee. That we'll see the model is where the driving distance we're going to have an emphasis on. We're going to have an emphasis on mid to long iron guys. So 175 to 200 plus, around that range, maybe 150 to 200 plus. And then always we're looking at great ball strikers. And then a couple course comps. It's essentially Torrey Pines. I was kind of like doing a little like models and stuff. It's really just premium on driving distance there. It plays like a major course. They've used this course as a major as they do Torrey Pines. Riviera is another good one where we saw Rom win this year. Bay Hill, where Kitayama won. All those are tough. And then Muirfield Village, the Jack Nicklaus course that comes up this summer, I believe. So yeah, really the key stats, the driving distance, and then the proximity with the mid to long iron. So those are just, the summary of what we're really looking for and why we're picking the golfers we are.
Yeah, I looked into the weather as well. There's not too much concern. It is a little bit gusty Friday afternoonish, but nothing to have some type of wave advantage if you're playing showdowns, if you're playing weekend long. But yeah, there's no crazy advantage either route. So
finally, finally.
I feel like there's every weekend, and then what you plan for on Wednesday night changes overnight, and then everything is just shot, and then that's why you have to kind of play both, but unless it's just clear. But you got to really play both, and if you're 20 maxing or if you're 150 maxing in DFS, you really have to maneuver around the weather. But this week we should be in the clear. And like I said before, this is another elevated event, which means one of the top guys is going to win. That's what we've seen this entire season. There will always be somebody probably below 2,000 odds win the tournaments. That's what we've seen. Somebody from probably the 4,000s and below probably scoot up to a top 5, a top 10, a top 20. But man, to win this thing, you have to beat Rory, Cantlay, Finau, Xander, Spieth, Hovland.
Although Scheffler and Rahm aren't here, which it's kind of that's why this week's a little different, because I don't think they've missed a lot this year. We've always had
especially Rahm.
We've had the big three and all of them. So there is a little bit of a opening there for the mid-tier guys. But yeah, like you said, we've only seen Kitayama win this year, and at Bay Hill, that's the only guy, long shot that's won, and he probably shouldn't even have won realistically. So
yep, and you can see that kind of with the only having about 4 to 5 guys closer to 20% in the DK percentage for ownership. Hovland, Young, Cantlay, Thomas, and Rory are the top 5. So other than that, I mean, you're going to have some value. I see some value here on Spieth, some value on Morikawa, some value on Homa, and then Burns, who we'll talk about as well. So the mid-tier, if you're playing DFS or if you're looking for some value, is going to be in that range that's the 2,000 to 4,000 odds to get up there and maybe finish top 5 and top 10. We do have some good top 40s for you as well, which we'll get into. So, but yeah, it's an elevated event, and you just have to know the best are going to come out. And one guy, we'll discuss here real quickly is Rory. He's back, and after his dreadful Masters play, how does he recover after a couple weeks off, or maybe it's been almost a month that he hasn't even played golf publicly. How does he do? Public's kind of going right back to him. He is the betting favorite, and with 20% owned in DK, I will probably tread lightly. I will concentrate more on Cantlay and Finau and Xander in my DFS lineups. What do you think about Rory this week?
Yeah, I don't know. He plays really well here. He's won three times here, I think.
Yeah.
So that was his first victory ever was here, I believe, as well. So, he has good vibes here. But yeah, it's always I've never been he's a great guy. I've never been I just can never figure him out really. I tend to stay away from him. I've never been a big Rory better. It's just hard to tell with him. You don't know where he is. I'm sure he'll be a bad week for him is a 40th. He rarely misses cuts, but
yeah.
I'm not going to say he's going to miss a cut this week because he probably won't, but I don't know. I don't see there's never any value with him in the market.
For how hot this PGA season has been for us, that is my worst pick of the year. Is Rory to win the Masters like that? Yeah. I was so adamant. I was like, "This is destiny. This is going to happen." So go back and watch that video. It is embarrassing to rewatch, but hey, that's what we get for trying to predict the future. And sometimes you're going to be right, and most of the time you're more than likely going to be wrong. But that's what we go off of. So let's get into some placements. We will finish with outrights. Let's go from top 40 to top 20s, and then some outrights, and then we will give out our official cards later this evening. So we might add one, we might subtract one. These are people that we really, really enjoy and what have sticked out to us currently. So let's go ahead with the top 40. What do you got, Teaser?
Yeah, I think we're both going to be on this guy, but it's Patrick Rogers at plus 110. I was debating the top 20, but I'm going to be a little safer with the top 40. I'm not big in top 40s anymore, but I'll play this one this week. He has 3 top 40s here in 5 starts. I mean, the main reason why I'm playing him is he can drive the ball. He's pretty good driving distance. So he's also played really well his last 3 starts. He has 3 top 20s. Given they were kind of, easier events, easier courses, but he's kind of trending in the right direction. He's always like a guy who's always been uber talented, but never really put it together. So I think he did contend here in 2021, but he was in the final group, I believe, with Rory and Keith Mitchell, and he just blew up. So I think he came in like 30th or something in the final group. So he had a pretty bad round, but it kind of fits his game, this course. Another guy I've been seeing, which I'm not going to go to, is Cam Champ. I think Patrick Rogers is a better pivot from Cam Champ. I've seen so many guys on him. I don't like playing with Cam Champ, so I'm going to go with Rogers instead.
And that was pre-stream, me saying, hey, what do you think about Cam Champ? And he starts laughing. So I said, okay, I'm crossing him off.
Yeah.
Cam Champ, if you're playing high risk in DFS, worth a shot. 2% owned compared to Rogers is 5%. So a little bit of a pivot there. Rogers is 7,500. Champ is 6,600. So, you could save a little bit salary if you want to go between those two. The top 40 for me that I like is going to be going back to Davis Riley. It hurts me to know that the one that I've missed in this stretch is the guy that I bet probably the most, which is wild. And I didn't bet that tournament. It was one of those things where we just said, hey, this is a duo. I wasn't going to dive into it as much as normally I would. Mm-hmm. And then, Davis Riley goes ahead and win it. I'm going to use that and think some momentum gets built here from Davis, who has since then, what has he got? 19th miscut, an 8th at the Arnold Palmer, and then a miscut at the Players. I'm just using that particular one and seeing some value here with Davis Riley at plus 125 for the top 40. And I will piggyback on the Patrick Rogers plus 105 top 40 with teaser as well. You got any other ones?
That's all I'm rolling with for top 40s, but I got 4 top 20s for you.
Okay. So I got a couple other top 40s that I have not taken yet, but these are guys that are sleepers in DFS that I'm eyeing, and I'm going to want us to get off the stream, see how it moves, see how we're feeling with it. But the other 2 that I'm liking is Pendrith, who I was on last week and just shit the bed on Sunday for a top 20. He was plus 210, and he was like 24th. He couldn't get it done. And then Kitayama. Kurt Kitayama is another guy who, man, just saying that name, I feel like he's going to miss the cut. But he has got balls of stone against this, a lot of these elevated groups. I really think Kitayama, if he drives the ball decent enough, that's the problem with him. He's so damn bad off the damn tee. Yeah. But give me a good drive out of Kitayama. I think he can tear up this golf course and be very, very good for you. It's a very high-risk play if you're playing DFS. If you're playing against thousands of people, go ahead and put Kitayama in for, I think he's only projected right now like 3%. So I like Kitayama and I like Pendrith. I have not decided if I'm going to add those 2 to the card. The top 40 for me for sure is Riley and Rogers. But I do have a couple other ones that I've been eyeing as well. So Pendrith is 2% owned in DFS, and what we got? Kitayama is 5%. So 5% at 7,200. Worth a shot with Kitayama.
Yeah.
What do you got for top 20s?
Top 20s. I'm going kind of not chalk this week, but closer to the plus 100. Not really any long shots, but. I'm going to start off with Justin Thomas at plus 120. I haven't really bet this guy in a while, honestly. I've always had a soft spot for him. Yeah, he's been pretty bad this year to his standards. I think he just slipped out of the top 10 for official world golf ranking. So he's not playing well. He won a major on this course, so there's always good vibes there. 3 top 30s here out of 4 starts when it's a non-major course. The model rank, he's 31st. It's not that great. The thing with him is driving distance will be there. It's just a matter of, if he can keep it in the vicinity off the tee, really is what it is. But just another guy, like it's worked for me in golf betting when I come to these courses. It's the grinders, and he can grind it out with the best of them. That's where I kind of like is the, like the 8 under to 10 under winners, where you can kind of get those. I love those type of courses, majors type things. So yeah, he'll grind it out, kind of be close there. I think also it was his birthday this week. So, he's got some going there. He's just turned 30. So we'll see. I didn't take the outright on him, but we'll go top 20. Second guy I actually just added before the stream. I kind of forgot about Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 130. Yeah. So last year he came in second, but that was at TPC Potomac. I went to that one in Maryland here. It's really a similar course, honestly. Like that's the good part where you can kind of look at last year and, it kind of resembles what Quail Hollow is. Obviously he's coming in very hot. You hit an outright on him a couple weeks ago.
Definitely over that neck injury or whatever he was.
Yeah, he's definitely 100% over that. He looks really good now. And then once again, he's another grinder. Last year it came in second. It was raining all 4 days. He'll put. I'm just banking on this course playing hard that hopefully it does. So these guys can kind of just grind it out with the best of them. And then once again, my third one. This is kind of a weird number on him. I got plus 150 on Max Homa. I don't know. He kind of slipped down the odds boards this week. It was really weird. I know he's not playing like the best right now, but the model had him at 20th. The course history is pretty crazy. He's won at this course, I believe, in 18 or 19, and then he won last year at TPC Potomac, which is obviously the comp course. Tough conditions once again. I'm pretty good at betting Max Homa, I would say. Like I think I've hit him twice, 3 times in the last 2 years. So it's, once again, you're always taking them at these type of courses, take them at Torrey Pines, take them in, these tough condition courses. Really couldn't pass up the number at plus 150. And also, a sneak peek could be an outright, won't tell the number yet. So,
and as soon as you said Homa to me, I was like, okay, I got to add him. Like I said, as soon as teaser's on Homa, I feel like he's got a pretty good read on where his game's at.
Yeah.
I automatically was like, okay, that's all I need to know because I was a little, thrown off where I was like, man, top 20 plus 140, plus 150. Like, what am I missing here with Homa? Like, I feel like he's better. He should be like the plus 120, plus 110, maybe the JT plus 115 range. And I was like, screw it. Teaser's on it. I'm good with it.
That's what so like really what I kind of like when people do this is when a guy like Max Homa, they're like, oh, he's playing like really bad right now. But if you look, I have his recent miscut at RBC. That course isn't him at all. We were fading him that week. Under. We kind of figured he wasn't going to play well there. The Masters 43rd. It's not a bad showing. It's the Masters. 6th at the Players, 14th at Arnold Palmer, and 2nd at Genesis. Yeah. So like, what do you want from, you know what I mean? So it's like,
can't win everything.
Right. So I think it's a really good spot to get him low. We kind of want to see that in, golf betting where sometimes you're wrong about it. Like Morikawa, I've been trying to get by low, but it hasn't worked out. I think Homa this week can definitely work out. Top 20, maybe an outright as well. And then for my last top 20, I'm going to go Sahith Theegala at 2-1. I think that's pretty good odds there on the top 20. Any course that's really long off the tee, I'm always going to take him. He really does excel off the tee. He can be pretty erratic sometimes. We kind of seen it before, but he does have 3 top 20s in his last 4 starts. He's kind of proving he's come into that elite tier of a young player. So it's kind of a good spot to take him as well. He's kind of flying under the radar once again this week. So I'll definitely take that 2-1 on him.
Yeah, he was one that I was back and forth on. I ended up probably staying away from him betting wise, but I'm going to go to him on the DFS side for sure. I'll start with I'm going to go with the Homa. I'm going to tag team the Homa top 20 plus 140. My pick to click, I know he's not the cover boy, but my pick to click, my double up is Cam Young. Think about a golf course that fits this guy. It's gotta be this one. Yeah. I'm actually a little bit surprised you're not on his top 20 with me. I'm surprised by that. But
no, man, I am too.
But we'll see. But plus 105, I'm okay with taking Cam Young there in the top 20. And my other one, it's probably the easiest bet for me to make this week was Victor Hovland, top 20 plus 100. He absolutely destroys this course. We got a top 5 finish here last year. And I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be back there again. I've seen a lot of people take his outright. I just have seen, I'm going to take Hovland's first round leader because that's just who he is. He wins the first round and then just fades. So he'll be a first round leader for me. But other than that, I'll take a top 20 for a guy who just has not won it yet or has not shown me the ability to win it. But I like the value here at plus 100 top 20 wise. Couple other guys that I'm debating on, and I have this I'm looking at DraftKings and it's like Jason Day plus 120 all the way down to like Tyrell Hatton at plus 165. There's a string of golfers there that are just so elite that I'm like, I don't know how I can't bet them top 20, but I like Burns and Hatton just scream to me. And I know Teaser likes Morikawa. It's like, man, Morikawa plus 125 should be screaming at me too. Probably going to play him a little bit more in DFS than I am in betting. But
it's hard, man, with the top 20s in these.
I know.
Like everyone's right there at plus 120 to 130. It's like you got to pick who. It's hard to narrow down. It really is.
And then I'm thinking about taking like the long, high hitting, accuracy, long irons, and like Jason Day is like the guy for that. Like, why would I not bet Jason Day? It's just like I've never bet Jason Day, but even though if he fits the course, it's just like something that like I've never really gone to him. And whenever that is the case, you'll see in DFS Jason Day ownership at 17%. Like I'm not going to play Jason Day at 17%. I'm just never going to do that. I've seen him fade quickly, and I just have not hopped back on to him. But if he does well, I can definitely see that. And then Sung Jae at plus 130, elite ball striker, elite iron game. I could see him being up there. It's just I have not got to him. But that block of golfers is just elite to me at that top 20 range. And one of them will be an outright. So stay tuned shortly. I will give one of those guys out for an outright. But that block, I think, has a very, very good chance of producing one of those guys that ends up winning this tournament.
Yeah.
So into that, let's finish the show off with a couple of our outrights. And then one guy, we'll go in, if we don't say it as an outright, we'll go into a couple guys what we think we like about them or what we don't like about them if we're going to fade them. So go ahead, you give an outright, and we'll go back and forth.
All right, yeah. I'll start with the lower end here. So I'll start. This is tough, man. It's just I got so baited on them the whole week. Everyone's card, everyone's on them. And I mean, I have to do Cam Young. I don't want to take 18 to 1, but I can't miss it.
Yeah, I know.
I cannot miss this. But last year he came in second. What's new? TBC Potomac. I mean, I literally go through him every single week. So if you've seen this stream before, I mean, I have nothing else to say about the guy. It's just one little tidbit is he did go to Wake Forest. It's pretty close by. So maybe, it's a little home cooking a little bit. You're familiar with the course. I mean, you already mentioned it. The game fits well here. Every time I take him, I say that. It almost works out. It's always second place, but it's just a matter of just finishing off. I will literally harp on it again. It's just he's got to stay away from the double bogey. Like that's what kills him. He'll go a par 5 double bogey and he's out of the tournament. So it's just something he has to just got to finish the tournament. So this is a really good opportunity for him to win here. I think he can. 18 to 1's a little stingy on the number. I don't like it that much, but on a guy who hasn't won before, but I have to do it. So yeah, that's the first one for me.
And he is an outright for me as well. I told you guys that's my double up. I didn't have him as a cover boy, but because I had to show off Hovland's first round shirt at the Masters because that was just a baller shirt. But but Cam Young, 18 to 1, it's justified. I think it's one of those times where like I see Hovland's team I see a bunch of other guys getting steamed. And it's like, I don't know if that's truly justified. I just think that's the public blindly betting sometimes and going on the hot guy that they see at every single article. Cam Young's is justified. He absolutely fits this course to a T, and he is a birdie machine. He could run away with this thing. 18-1. It's not the greatest number, but it's got some value still to it. That's why I like it. I could see it. If it went like 16 or below, I'd be like, oh man, okay, this is getting steamed too much. But like right at 18, I think it's the books did a good job right there at 18.
Yeah. They made it enticing to where it's like, dang, but it's like the betting part, the golf better in me is like, you're so dumb for doing, like, you cannot take a guy who's never won under sub 20. Like, you just can't do it. But then there's like my heart where it's like, I'm going to let it slide for Cam Young. So,
yep. And then my ass is going to do the double up just to make sure if he does do well and not get it, we still get some profit there. So get that, go for that. And then probably the lowest outright I'm going with, I just talked about him in that block of golfers that I really liked. And it's going to be Tyrell Hatton. And it's going to be 35-1. It was one guy that just kept sticking out to me. I was pre-stream and I'm like, teaser, this guy is just absolutely sticking out to me. It's a grinder mentality course. It's a little bit tougher course than the normal elevated events are or something like that. It's hosted a major before. So a guy, and it's not as windy as I would like to play with Hatton, but it's a guy that I think on a tough course is one of those guys I like to play a lot. Hatton or Lowry. Lowry just hasn't got there for me enough this year to back him, but I really like Tyrell at 35-1. So those are the two outrights that I got right now. You got a third one for us?
Yeah, I can. So I have Cam Young, and then I have three more after that. I'll just quickly go on. We talked about Victor Hovland at 20-1. Yep. I don't even bet this guy, so this is unreal how I'm taking 20-1 on him. I mean, he can win, but he hasn't won in the U.S. yet. Another guy that's just been absolutely steamrolled this week. I've seen him on every single card, but I'm falling into it. 6 top 20s this year. I mean, obviously he's been playing good. He just can't finish. Really, you don't need to be elite around the greens. We talked about that. So obviously I like him more here. Third in 2021, and he gained almost 14 strokes in total. So that's a quick rundown on him. Third, we didn't really talk about the guy, Morikawa, 25-1. I've been a sucker for this guy the whole year. I don't know why, because I'm not like a big fan of his. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of Morikawa, but it's just like one of those other guys where it's kind of buy low at this point. 25-1 is pretty good on him.
Yep.
This is kind of the one guy that doesn't fit my mold of long off the tee, but he is the elite iron player. He's 10th in proximity from 175 plus, third in ball striking. So you're going to get that part of it. It's just off the tee. He's not too far, but he's second in fairways gained. So that's going to kind of, equal that out. So he's going to have his mid to long irons, which he's good at. It's just, once again, he kind of just fizzles out over the weekend this year. Yeah. So hopefully he can kind of put his putting together.
Morikawa is like somewhat similar to Hovland, where they get off to a pretty dang good start and then they just stall. Yeah. And I don't know if that's just them not making putts the second, third, and fourth rounds or whatnot. It's got to be, but they get up in the leaderboard and then they just slowly dwindle throughout the weekend. I'm hoping that's not the case maybe this week for Hovland or Morikawa, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm starting to I have one more, but really quick into Morikawa, it's like this guy was so hyped the first 2 years, but like was he just like a COVID player? Like he hasn't been doing anything since COVID. Like I'm curious to see, like, we'll give him this whole year, right? Like I don't know if he's like this elite guy everyone thinks. Right? Do you agree? I'm not pushing that anymore.
I think he needs to kind of do what Spieth has done, where Spieth went through that transition where he got onto the scene very, very quickly. And then he went through that lull where he's like, man, okay, now I got to figure out how I can sustain this long term. And what's Jordan done? He's gotten longer off the tee. His putting's big. His short game has always been there, but it keeps getting better and better. The main thing I think was just him getting longer. And I think that's what Colin needs to do is get longer. So then courses like this, he doesn't get ate up on. And a lot of those different ones, especially the majors where you have to, sometimes hit it long. But man, I think this year, the most thing that just disappointed me the most with Morikawa is just his putting. It's been so bad.
I know I just don't know.
Which is surprising.
he can't read greens or he just can't putt. I don't know what it is, but hopefully, he figures it out. But yeah,
that'd be so frustrating, like just throwing darts everywhere and then you're just missing the
right.
putts.
It's like it's
That pissed
just
me off.
frustrating, man. Like 8 to 10 feet. Like you got to make those at some point. But the last one this is probably if I had to go one and done this week, it's probably Homa, but I'm sure everyone's already used them. So I'll kind of give a couple more one and dones after.
I think I've used mine.
Yeah, Homa. I have the DraftKings boost 31-1. He's 28 on DraftKings plus the 300, 31-1. The model ranks 20th. We literally already talked about him, how everyone thinks he's playing so bad, but he's not. Couldn't pass up the number. I'm going to take him every single time in these conditions, and he's a grinder. So I think for that value, it's definitely my favorite play of the week outright wise. He could potentially miss a cut, but I think he's going to contend this week and maybe win his, I think, third time this year already, or is it second? I don't know.
I think he won twice, in Cali. So yeah.
Yeah, twice. So it's one of my favorite plays of the week. So yep, that's rounds out the outrights for me.
All right, so 4 guys we did not talk about that are up in that elevated event. We got Cantlay, FINAU, Xander, and Spieth. So 4 guys.
Yeah,
I'm very close to just putting that 300 on Cantlay and calling it a day and hoping that he just wins this thing. And then I could do the exact same thing for FINAU and Xander. Spieth is like the only one that I'm kind of just like slowly getting away from.
I like Spieth this week, actually. He just never seems to make my card. He also hasn't played here since 2016 or 15, which is a little weird to me. Maybe he probably always skips it. But
right.
It's just he's always the outlier where like he sprays it off the tee, but he somehow plays well. I don't think that'll kind of work here. I don't know. I'm not too keen on him this week. And then Cantlay, like you said, you can take 3-1. Cantlay was my Morikawa all last year and beginning of this year. They would put him at 24-1, but now he's 14-1. I can't touch that for a guy.
That's my only concern.
Yeah.
And it's like there's just not too much value with Cantlay. Even if you add the 300 to it, it's 15-1. It's like
he can't win. Like he literally cannot figure out a way to win right now. You kind of have to see him. That's one guy I will be content to watch win first and then be like, okay, like he can do it again. But he's been struggling.
He's up there. He's always up there. So top 10 plus 150, not bad. But then it's like, do I go back to the well with FINAU? Do I go back to him? Our motto has been going to back with our guys, but I just think last week was FINAU's week.
Yeah,
it was like a resort. He had his family all there. Like everything kind of clicked for him that weekend. I honestly might go Xander. That guy's been just staring at me, and I'm a big Xander guy. And usually when I'm on him, he misses the cut. So if you guys want to go with that route, but like we said earlier, it's an elevated event. One of these elite players is going to win. I might use my plus 300 on Xander.
I like
official card.
I think out of those 4, I will say Xander's my favorite out of those 4. So if that helps you, I would 100% go Xander. FINAU, I'll talk you off him. Every one of his wins is on a long course, which is this, but it's an easy field, and you have to be 20 to 25 under to win. He's not going to win at 10 under this week. So I don't think this is his type.
I'm good with that. All right, so that's probably what I end up going with. So, all right, through the little thought process, and I am going to take for the record Hovland's first round leader plus 3,500. So that's just going to be public knowledge there. So hopefully when that hits, I can go back to and clip this stream. But yeah, it's just a no brainer. I think. Like that. It's a no brainer. I think it's hit multiple times this week, or this year. So, any final words, teaser? Oh, did I get lost?
Yeah, no. I'll throw out a couple one and dones that we talked about. Yeah, I think definitely Hovland and Homa are my 2 favorite for one and dones. If you guys, I know a lot of people do that out there. So if you guys haven't chosen, Hovland or Homa yet, definitely. I think those are my 2 favorite. I know you're big on Hovland, so you would say the same. So, yeah, that's really it. Like we said, one of the big guys are going to win this week.
Left.
So, yeah. What big guy do you have left?
Who the hell I have left? That's what I'm saying. Let's see. Who do I have? I've already had Homa when he won. And then
you definitely didn't use Hovland yet, did you?
No, I have not used Hovland, so I can definitely throw Hovland.
You got to now.
More than likely going to be Hovland. Got the that or Young, him or Cam Young. More than likely, I'm going to go Hovland. More than likely.
You could save Cam for a major, honestly, but
yeah, I'd rather have Cam for a major than Hovland for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that is the On the Dot PGA show. Hope you guys, if you're rewatching this, simply hit that retweet button, hit that thumbs up on YouTube. If not, make sure you guys join the Discord. We will be active in there all year long, whether it's NBA, MLB, NHL, UFC, or PGA. We have got it all covered. So make sure you guys check out the Discord. But that is it for us for this evening. And good luck on everybody's bets. We'll be back next weekend. So see you guys.
See you.